Whoa. Hey there. Hello. How do you do? My name is Harry Wetzel. Thanks for coming. It's the 80s, darling. Yes, indeed. Indeed. Yes. It's September 1983. And I am sleeping on the floor on a foam mattress in Suzanne's apartment, in her apartment on 100th Street on the 12th floor. Yes, I had been squatting up in Squatter's attic out there in Astoria, Queens, and Suzanne wouldn't have it. So now I'm staying here on her cute little apartment on the 12th floor. You remember the same apartment where she and Lily were living, same apartment where I auditioned for Gary and got my gig at Terre Haute, Indiana. Yes. So we're roommates, and it's fantastic. We get along just well, just perfectly well as roommates. We're both very, very tidy. In an apartment this small, you have to be. Yes. But we know how to make each other laugh, and we like to spend time together. We like to smoke dope and watch the honeymooners together. We like to smoke reefer and listen to music together. We like to smoke marijuana and chain smoke cigarettes together and laugh and sit around and laugh, talk, and just have fun. It was always fun. There was never any weird sexual tension between the two of us. It was always good, fun, easy, and true. It was just lovely. So it was some of the best times I had living in New York City. Was the times that I'd be rushing home from the bookstore to smoke dope and listen to music and watch TV with Suzanne. It was so much fun. And but um, you know, even though this was some of the best times I had, even though I was technically homeless at the time, and I still got to find a place. This is a lovely arrangement, but this is strictly temporary. I've got to find a place. I mean, what am I going to do with all my shit? I know. All right. So, meanwhile, life goes on. I'm still working at the bookstore, still dealing with the microfiche, still trying to shelve dozens and dozens of computer books that make no sense to me, and still going out getting boozed up with Carp or getting boozed up with Weasel or hanging around with Suzanne. But one dark night in autumn 1983, there was a gathering of Detroiters downtown at a pub called the White Horse Tavern. Ah, the White Horse Tavern. Yes, a legendary place. It had been there over 100 years, since the 1880s. Yes. It had been at the same location on Hudson and 11th Street for all those years. And Dylan Thomas famously drank himself to death there one night in 1953 or something like that. 18 shots of raw booze, I understand. There are various accounts as to exactly how long it took him to die after that 18th shot, but I wasn't there. So it's impossible for me to go to the White Horse Tavern without getting a shot of Irish whiskey in honor of Dylan Thomas. I'm drinking old Bushmills these days, so I get a shot of Bushmills. Boom, and let's get another one for later. Anyhow, boom. So here we are at this gathering of Detroiters, and Weasel's there, and Carp's there, and Randy's there, and Suzanne's there, and a bunch of Detroiters that I've only met in passing, who've been here longer than I have, and some that I've never met at all. So it's a lovely gathering of old chums and new friends. So it is. It's a lovely Motown gathering. It is. When who do you think walks in to the White Horse Tavern? Right, Rodent. He just walks on in like he was a normal person rather than somebody who had just betrayed his best friend, who had betrayed his comedy partner, who had betrayed his sweetheart. He just walked right in. Well, he was hoping things would be normal. And as soon as he walked right in, not everybody knows the story. And if they even know the story, they don't care. It's New York. Shit happens. Deal with it and move along to the next abomination. So he was welcomed just like anybody else at the party. Well, Suzanne and I were not thrilled with any of this. So I went over to the bar and got another shot. Boom. And another one just for good measure. Boom. So I'm getting pretty well on my way to loopy. All right. So I'm still trying to have a good time at the party and, and not let this destroy the whole evening for me when who do you think walks up to me and tries to start having a conversation? And I will have none of it. I say, I can't believe you. And I storm away over to the bar and I get another shot. Boom. And I'm like, I am getting pretty loopy. I am going to have to switch from shots to just a regular glass of ale. I'll be able to drink more and it'll be okay that way. So I'm drinking my Bass Pale Ale and I'm stumbling around, sort of in a grumpy mood because of all this nonsense going on. And then Roden comes up one more time to try and start a conversation with me. And so I unloaded on him a volley of fantastic logic. And it went something like this. I can't believe you. I can't believe it. I can't believe you. I can't believe you. I can't believe you. I can't, you, we, you, they, or some such brilliance as that. Yes. And to top it all off, I had had enough, and I looked at him square in the eye and I said, that's it. And I stormed out of the White Horse Tavern. I got my book bag and I stormed on out into the night. I'm filled with rage and anger, and I'm stomping down the sidewalk in the West Village with all the twisty and turvy streets. And I'm storming. I'm like Mr. Hyde, stomping down the sidewalk. And I'm in a terrible mood. And I'm going down the sidewalk. I'm drunk. I'm trying to find out where I am. I'm not exactly sure. And I'm going down the sidewalk and I'm not exactly sure where I am. And then I'm kind of lost. And then I'm looking around. And it occurs to me that I'm just lost. I forgot that I'm mad. Now I'm just drunk and lost. So I start walking around I got to find the subway. I got to go home. So I see a deli, and I go over to the deli and I get a yogurt. I gotta get something in my stomach. This will make me feel better. So I got a yogurt and a granola bar. I go, I'm gonna eat this on the way home, on the subway ride home. Oh, I gotta find the subway. So I put the yogurt and the granola in my book bag, zip it up, and then I'm roaming around the West Village looking for the subway, and I find the subway. The 123, this will take me up to my stop at 96th Street. And I go on down and I go on into the subway station, and there's a big clock there and it says 2:30. It's 2:30 in the morning. It's 2:30. And I'm like, okay, it's 2:30. I'll be home by 3:00. This will be fantastic. So I have a seat and I get out my yogurt and I open it up and I get my granola and I crumble the granola into the yogurt. And there's yogurt in the cup, but there's granola crumbs everywhere. And so I got most of them in the cup. And so I'm eating my delicious meal here. And I eat it. And I'm very careful. I don't spill any of the yogurt. There is granola crumbs all over my book bag, which I zipped up so there wouldn't be crumbs inside. And I finish the yogurt and I clean out the cup real nice. And I clean the spoon real nice. And I put the yogurt back into my bag and zip it up. And then I'm sitting there on the ride home, jostling in the subway. And I'm like, hey, wait a minute. Was I at a party? Did I get in a fight with somebody? Was I Was somebody yelling at me? Was I yelling at somebody? What? Was I at a bar? Was I at a party? Suzanne was there. Suzanne was there. Oh no. Rodent was there too. Oh. Oh, Dylan Thomas. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Dylan Thomas. What the fuck are you talking about, Dylan Thomas? And I'm sitting there and I get this sort of warm, fuzzy blanket of weariness that's beginning to overtake me. And I'm like, Dylan Thomas, rodent. I, 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 and just as I'm about to nod off, the loudspeaker says, next stop, 103rd Street. And I'm like, yang, yang, yang. My 96th Street stop, I just missed it. I got to get off immediately. And so I get up, and there's granola crumbs everywhere. And I get out of the subway, watch the closing doors. And it just misses me, and I'm standing on the subway platform. Ay, 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 ay. I'm still drunk. It's just standing there on the subway platform, and I look up at the clock, and it says 6:30, and I'm like, 6:30? It's 2:30. 2:30. I have no recollection of what subway platform I got on and where it said 2:30, but I know I saw a clock that said 2:30. And now this one says 6:30, 6:30, 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, 6:30. That's 4 hours. What the fuck is going on? This is some Close Encounters Twilight Zone shit, man. So I'm just going to go back up to Suzanne's apartment and just maybe figure it out or go to sleep. So I walk on up. I walk over to 100th Street. I walk over to Suzanne's apartment and up to the 12th floor. And I go in the apartment. And Suzanne bolts upright in her bed. She says, Harry, where have you been? And I'm like, uh-oh. I mean, ugh. I don't exactly know. I'm not exactly sure. I had a granola and a yogurt. She says, what are you talking about? I said, I think I fell asleep for a little bit. She says, what are you talking about? I said, and I went over, sat down on a chair by the bed. I said, all right. I remember 2:30. I got on the subway, some subway platform at 2:30. She says, yeah, you stormed out of the White Horse Tavern at around 20 after or 2:30 or something like that. I'm like, aha, the White Horse Tavern, Dylan Thomas, right. Oh, Rodent was there, wasn't he? She said, yeah. I said, did we get in a fight? She says, not really. I said, did I yell at him? She said, well, you just said, I can't believe it. I can't believe you. I can't believe this. I can't believe it. And then you left. I'm like, that's when okay. So then I went and got my yogurt, and then I got my subway ride at 2:30, and I got up here at 6:30. What? And she's like, no, wait a minute. You say you got on at the White Horse Tavern or in that neighborhood at 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, and she starts to figure, and she counts out, and she says, you know what I think happened? I think you fell asleep and passed out flat, cold, dead, out for those 4 hours. And I think you took the ride all the way from White Horse Tavern, all the way past the 96th Street station, all the way up off of Manhattan into the Bronx. End of the line in Bronx. The subway car comes the other direction, all the way down back onto Manhattan, past the 96th Street station, all the way down past the White Horse, and all the way down to Battery Park. Last stop. And then, that's about 2.5 or 3 hours. Then one more trip all the way up past White Horse, all the way up past 96 to 103rd, That's about 4 hours. You took the entire subway route from one end to the other, fast asleep. You're lucky you didn't get mugged. And I'm like, nobody touched me. And the proof of it is there was granola crumbs still all over the place. They would have been disturbed or gotten rid of if somebody had tried to mug me. She says, well, that's a comfort. Promise me you'll never do that again. I said, promise me, promise you what? I'll never do what again? She said, well, promise me you'll be more careful. I said, that I can do. That I will do. So, all right, now I am house hunting. I got to find a place. Suzanne's kindness can only go on for so long. And meanwhile, Weasel is looking for a place. So he says we should just look for a place together and find a place together and be roommates. And I'm like, okay. So we start looking for a place for two. How jolly is that? And I'll tell you how jolly it is next time. All right. So in the meantime, I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for staying with me. Please tell everyone you know about this podcast. It'll be so exciting when we create a whole new empire together. And I need your help. It's going to be so much fun. It already is so much fun. And it'll be more fun later on. All right. I didn't push the button. I still didn't push the button. And go.